Hey guys, you were tuning in to Hit the Mark with Mark Levy. This is your host, Mark Levy, of course, Giant. Thank you to Brandon Scott Jones, and of course, the one and only Mike Lane. Both amazing guests. Today will be a very interesting episode of the show. I am online right now with Terry Withers, as you see right now, and it's going to be very exciting to talk to him. Of course, before I get to him, got to thank Bardia Salimi, Doug Wydick, and Caitlin Jeffers for the amazing art that they created. I thank you. I thank them so much. I think we have one more episode where I thank them until we hit number 40 for season 2. Of course, if you want to support the show, you can go to iTunes.com, rate us, review us, whatever you want. And you know what? We'll be very thankful for that. It's great, love support. Yeah, rate us, review us. It helps the show. If you go to Zazzle.com, we have we have a store. You can buy merch, whatever you want. We'll make it. Hats, mugs, whatever you want. It's there. If it's not there, email hchampod@gmail.com and we'll fix that for you. Of course, if you want to support the show in another way, go to hitthemark.podomatic.com and we will see over there a PayPal button. You can donate as much money as you want or as little as you want. It all helps the show, and we're thankful for everything. As you know, we have Terry Withers right here. And do you know what? There's actually no review tonight because this is going to be a fun, weird episode. We're recording at 11:36 and broadcasting on e-mprov.com.
Yeah.
Terry from that site. He's the mastermind of it. He's also the 7th member of Sandino I've had on the show. He also has been around forever, forever in the best possible way. And you have to catch his normal comedy, his normal stand-up comedy shows at UCB. Terry, how are you?
Great, Mark. Great.
Great. It's great to have you on the show tonight.
Listen, I'm just curious, and I'm just curious. You thanked a lot of people up at the top of the episode. What were you thanking them all for? Some of them for artwork, some of them for...
Yeah, Jeffers and Bardia Salimi and Doug Wydick. They all create the art they see either visually or here before they get to this part of the episode.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Okay.
And of course, the first two, which was Brandon Scott Jones and Mike Lane, they appeared on the episode most recently.
I see. So you thank them. Yeah, that's really nice of you. That's really nice. All right, great.
So yeah, how are you on this nice 11:30 p.m. night on Saturday?
Pretty good. Great. A little sleepy, but good.
Well, I thank you very much for hitting me up about an hour ago. Be like, hey, let's do this right now. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, well, Finn went down, so I knew I'd have time.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right.
Finn, for the listening audience, is my son. So he went to sleep, so I knew I could do this. Well,
that's always good. When the son gets to sleep, Terry gets to play, right?
That's right. It's time for me to podcast immediately.
So everyone's just going to be doing live podcasts with you through e-mprov?
I want to do video versions of people's podcasts live. That's what I want.
I would do it. Honestly, I really would do it more often.
It's got to be pretty similar to what you do, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's just conversation. Hopefully, hopefully the fans out there will like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for those that don't know what the show is, it's literally a conversation between two people about acting, improv, and all that fun stuff. And comedy.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's just dive right in. So Terry, what was your big comedy or acting inspiration growing up?
Oh, growing up?
Yeah.
Well, I liked Saturday Night Live. I think Dana Carvey was big when I was in high school. If I'm being honest, my big influences were childhood friends. So people who I could list their names for you, but you wouldn't know who they were. So it'd be if
I did though, right?
It'd be very strange if you did. I'd be very weirded out. But yeah, I would say honestly, there was a guy who lived down the block from me. His name was Seth. He was a huge influence on me in me wanting to perform and me having a certain sense of humor. Also, there was a guy named Albert Bugov who was really an important...
Where are you from?
Long Island.
Cool. How deep out there?
Not so deep. About halfway through. But,
Okay. No
yeah,
Long Island, right?
yeah, about 50 minutes on the LIRR.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, not so
Cool.
bad. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I knew you were, I had a feeling you were some northeastern part of America, but I
Yeah.
wasn't sure
I've got a
where.
Yankee vibe, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, so do I, but I'm from Miami, so
Well, they say Miami is the Boston of the South.
the Boston of the South, really?
I don't
That
think
was the sixth borough.
maybe so. Maybe so. The sixth borough. Okay.
Whatever, it's all cool. Yeah, I mean, my whole family's from Brooklyn, so I mean, I'm pretty much a New Yorker, even though I'm from Miami.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool, cool, cool.
So you grew up in Long Island, and you like what kind of kid were you?
What kind of child was I?
Yeah,
Gosh, I mean, I was a shy kid. I really believed in following the rules.
yeah.
I still do. I still do. Except that now I know that there's a certain point that I get to where if I decide I'm going to break the rules, then I can get pretty. I maybe take it too far. If I decide I'm going to break one rule, then you got to watch out with me. Besides that, like Jen and I have fights all the time where
Right.
Jen will want to do something that's in our best interest, and I will not want to do something because
Cat?
I do have a cat here. Yes, I have a
Yeah.
cat. Arwen the cat is with me.
Oh,
Arwen is not normally in the room with me when I improvise, but I thought for a podcast to be okay, so I let her in.
yeah, cool.
Like just recently, Jen and I had this interesting thing happen where we went to the we were trying to decide on a pediatrician. And
Right.
we go to this pediatrician's office, and Jen's like, 8.5 months pregnant. We should have done this months ago. And for some reason, this woman gave us all these forms that asked all manner of personal questions, and I wanted to fill them out. I was just like, she wants us to fill them out. These are the rules of this doctor's office. If we want to meet this doctor, then I have to give her my social security number. And Jen was just calmly like, no, Terry, we're going to tell her we're not giving her that information unless we decide to go with her. And it makes me so tense. I just feel like that's crazy. That's crazy to flout authority like that, But Jen's right, and I'm wrong. And but I've been like that for my entire life. I was like a squealer. I would tell on you if you broke the rules as a kid. I was a goody two shoes.
Well, I mean, you guys are some really smart people,
What's that?
You guys are both very smart people.
Oh, well, thank you so much. Thank you very much.
I mean, I was in lady class with Jen, and she's been a friend too. And you're a good friend, and you're smart. So I'll say it. You guys are both smart.
Yeah, I mean, I think my desire to follow the rules probably exists outside of my intelligence. It is simply a instinctual necessity for me.
Right. Well, I mean, I find it interesting that, because you're, kind of, in the bad boy realm of comedy,
I'm in the bad boy realm of comedy?
Yeah, definitely.
I am?
I think so, yeah.
Thanks. Thank you.
Well, I mean, because, you're a fun wild card style,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And, I mean, I find it really interesting. You're like, yeah, I like to follow the rules, make sure everything is cool, I mean, I'm not saying, that's weird, but I'm just saying that's fun,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I saw your normal stand-up comedy show the most recent time you did it. It was brilliant.
Thank you so much,
To say the least.
Yeah, I really like that show a lot. Although, it's funny, I feel like I probably won't do it again because the last time I did it, I felt bored doing it. I felt like I knew what it was,
Oh, this time?
What's that?
Like the time that was 2 weeks ago, or?
Yeah, whenever that was. Early May. I just felt like, I understand it now, what I've been doing, and I feel like no one in the audience was really offended on any level, which is great. That's what I wanted. I never wanted to offend anyone, but it was hard material to not offend someone with.
Right.
And I feel like I've got it there now. I feel like I can do that, Pete. Unless there was some way to do it for a retirement home, or an elementary school, or I did that in a church group, or even a high school.
Or maybe you see the church, the whole Joel Osteen stuff,
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I would do it. I would do it for like a group of people who had no idea what was about to come, and like I kind of really wanted to get a run at UCB because I felt like with the UCB name, a lot of people would come and see the show
Yeah.
who, you know, like had no idea what it was or what it was
Right.
going to be about. But since it's just kind of like its own like kind of satellite thing, I don't think I'm getting that bump. So I
Okay.
don't know. Just don't know how to do it for people who aren't expecting it. I just don't know how. If I could figure out a way to do it for them, then I would.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. I mean, maybe like bust a church group in, like do like an Andy Kaufman style thing.
Yeah,
I mean, I
maybe.
think it's kind of like an Andy Kaufman style performer.
I would go to someone's church. They wouldn't have to bust them in. I would do, I would do a church or I would do a library. A
Yeah.
library would be
Well,
great.
library is so much fun.
Yeah, that'd be a great place to do it.
Yeah.
I would love to do that. But I
Oh,
think, you know, like in terms of like doing it for improv students or my
for
friends.
people that know you.
Yeah, it's just like I've got it now, so like I know what it is, and I've
Well,
got
then
it.
I'm very, well, then I'm very happy I caught it this time because I was shocked a lot in a good way.
Thanks, Mark.
Not offended. I mean, I'm very hard to offend, but I very much enjoyed it.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I mean, like watching. I think one of my favorite parts of the show was watching that weird circle of chairs tied up with the wire that you
Yeah.
that you basically made,
Yeah, yeah.
like the microphone wire. Because for those that don't know the show, it's Terry on stage doing well. This time it was street magic, but
That's right. That's right.
but he was also known as writer for Joel Osteen,
Mhm.
and he was fired. And basically, you're going crazy during the show, screaming at people and stuff.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. I'm an unbalanced stand-up comedian. And the chair thing is interesting to me because that was the one part of the show that always changed. At the time you saw it, like I set up the chairs. Like the idea is that the show actually has a through line. That everything I do is actually for a reason. So I set up those chairs in that pile in the show you saw because the audience plan who comes up, who I did the magic trick for,
Right.
get mad at me and then throw me into that pile of chairs.
Right.
But in the past, the pile of chairs has served as an altar for the Mr. Improv competition.
Yes, which is a big thing.
Oh, huge, just huge.
I really like. I actually I've tried so hard for like an hour to sign up for it. Seriously.
It's hard to. The website doesn't work, so it's tough to sign up.
know.
It's tough to sign up. So it served for that, and it also served as a pile of chairs that I would run into when I was singing. I would sing a song, get very upset, and then collapse into the pile of chairs.
Shit.
And there's a couple other things too that I used.
Did that hurt? When you fell chairs?
No, never. I've never hurt myself with those chairs. Even when that guy threw me into the chairs this last time.
Right.
That didn't hurt.
And rubbed semen all over you.
And that's true. He did do that. And even that didn't hurt.
I'm still laughing from the show. That was 2 weeks ago, dude.
Yeah.
And that's how much I love that show.
God, it feels like it was months ago to me. But it was. I guess it was only 2 weeks ago. Huh. How about that?
But yeah, it's a little more than 2 weeks. It's the 17th right now, and that was like, what, the 1st, probably?
Yeah, and that was exhausting. I mean, that was so exhausting to put that show together.
For an hour, man.
Yeah, it was so long show. I had to memorize all these lines. I had to go someplace. I had to.
Was a lot of it scripted, or
the whole thing? Yeah, the whole thing is word for word. Very tough.
Wow, I know that.
Yeah. I feel like I'm a little shifty as I say that. Yeah. No, but I mean, more than you would think. I mean, there's a little bit of improv.
I figured the jokes, like the two actual stand-up comedy jokes, were scripted.
Yep, that was scripted.
Anything else, I didn't know if anything else was, because I know that you're an amazing improviser, and it seemed like a man was going crazy on stage.
Yeah, no, that's all practice. I mean, I give myself some leeway with the words, but like it's all like there's certain beats that I have to hit. And there's definitely certain turns or phrases that I try to hit every time. But like the whole thing was, like I said, was exhausting. And then compared to this, which is so easy, and this could easily be an 8-person improv set right now.
You just sit down and just enjoy it. I mean, how exactly does it work? Like everyone just logs onto this, and then they all just improvise?
Yeah, I mean, you can see the camera goes to whoever's speaking,
Okay.
So it's very convenient, just like the I would if someone was in an audience watching. And I mean, it's easy. It's a pretty easy way to improvise with people. It's a little hard when people talk at the same time because the mic's cut off. So that makes it tough. And
Oh, right.
sometimes it can be tough to be physical, right? But if we're being honest,
Like that.
yeah,
Like,
or just like like to do a lot of physical maneuvering, like setting a table is tough to do in this form. But
right.
a lot of people find that tough anyway on stage, and like some people don't. Like Ken Beck does a great job of keeping his improv very physical. He's all over the place. He gets up.
It was like it's like writing down, or
What's that?
so like he does like sit down for it. He just stands up and like goes crazy, or
Well, I think he sits sometimes, but then when he feels like he should get up, he gets up and does what he has to do. So, I mean, that's great. And like you could always do this. You could always like take. I mean, no one has done this yet, but like you could always like decide to move around this way and like walk around a room as you're talking. That would be fine. I'm sure that's coming. I'm sure someone's going to get good at that at some point.
I mean, when I eventually do an improv set on e-mprov, I will do that.
Oh, great. Okay.
I mean, I can't do it right now because I'm kind of tethered close to my computer because I'm recording straight to my computer.
Yeah.
This conversation, and it's picking up great audio too. I think so.
Great.
We'll find out.
I'd love to have you do improv sometime soon, Mark.
Oh, I'd love to. I'll ask Flint.
Please do. I'm looking for teams next week.
Cage match tonight, so.
Please ask them. I need a team for next Wednesday or Thursday, the worst way. So please ask.
Around what time?
You tell me. What.
Okay. All right. I'll see if I can get done.
I'll do it at 5 in the afternoon if that's when you guys are all free. I'll do it at 2 in the morning.
I must have day jobs, but whatever. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, whenever it's convenient.
Yeah. So okay, I want to talk so where did you go to college?
Penn State.
Penn State, cool. For some, yeah, I thought you were from Pennsylvania, so you went to college in Pennsylvania, but you're from Long Island.
It's true. Yeah, I spent some seminal years in PA.
Cool. So, what was your major?
Theater. I was a theater major.
Yeah. What were like your big roles in like high school and college?
Oh God. Let's see. In my freshman year in high school, my high school theater experience was fantastic. There was this guy named, oh yeah, is that right?
If we were recording in my apartment, I would be able to show you you'd be looking at my huge Playboy library.
Oh, is that right? You've got them all, huh?
I got a legitimate library.
Oh, that's awesome.
I was actually gonna like record everything over there, but literally everything is set up over here right this second. So
this is going to be interesting. We'll talk about some theater. This will be great.
I will gladly talk about theater with you in a heartbeat.
Yeah, that would be great. I think I probably have an odd perspective on theater. Okay, so in high school, in ninth grade, I played Dr. It can't be that I played Dr. Roberts because that's a Beatles song, but it was Dr. Someone or another. And The Man Who Came to Dinner.
Great play.
Yeah, very fun play. I played the doctor who came in and out.
Nice.
Did great with that. And
the one that comes in later, right?
He's in pretty early. It's a small part, but I really took to it. Really took to that part.
So you're a character actor also?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, same here.
The time I was, yeah.
It's the best. I love being a character actor.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. I think that would be a fair description of my ninth grade self. That was a big one. And then from there, multiple more roles. But my high school did 4 plays a year. They would do 1 or 2.
I did 3. So
we do 3, yeah. We do a bunch of Shakespeare's. We do a musical every year. And then we do 1 contemporary.
Cool.
And then at Penn State, it was not, for me, it was not a very welcoming environment. I was an undergrad, and the graduate program was such a focus there that there wasn't. Oh, yeah. I ended up just cleaning a lot of things and doing a lot of laundry and, like dressed in black a lot. But I don't know that I learned that much about acting or theater. I learned some things. There's a couple great acting teachers who taught classes, and that was great. But just in terms of I feel like for performing, you need that kind
Oh,
of
totally.
experience under the gun. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You need to like have your back up against them. Like it's one thing to do it in a class. It's another thing to do it in front of 200 people. And there just wasn't that much of that there for me. And then since then, theater all around, theater until eventually I found the Upright Citizens Brigade, and it's just like this is better. This is better than what I've been doing. I'm going to do this from now on. That was about 7 years ago.
What were like your dream roles?
My dream role now is to. Oh, Mark has left. I'll tell you, Internet. My dream role now is to be in an improv show, and to not have a role at all. What's happened here, just so you know, is that Mark has lost his connection with our hangout, and I am recording this interview with myself now by myself. Mark will probably return in about a minute or two when he looks up the link again, and hopefully he can access this hangout and re-record this information that he's missing now. Here's the big thing about me with theater. Here's the big sort of like reveal. There he is.
How about that? I lost you there.
Yeah, no big deal. No big deal.
Yeah.
I told people some more stuff about me in theater while you were gone. Yeah.
Cool.
You can go back and get it if you want.
Yeah, okay.
Not too fantastic.
Happy to be back here.
Okay.
So you had some fun roles in theater. And hold on 1 second, because my audio is acting weird right now. Yay. Okay, continuing. There we go. All right, sorry about that.
Yeah, I've had some fun roles.
I was like, oh, wow, I just lost you there. But whatever, we're back. So you had some fun theater roles. For people that want to hear the full unedited version, go to e-mprov.com.
It's true. That's where it exists.
So did you move to New York City to become an actor, or just came back after?
Oh, yeah. No, I knew.
Came back to the city.
Yeah, no, I came to the city determined to break into theater. You know, I was so determined, and that's like a big thing, right? Like
that's what I'm here too.
They gear students up in colleges all across this country. They're like, they say the craziest thing. I'm curious to know what you think about this. They tell students, they're like, don't do this unless you can't do anything else, right? Did you ever hear that? Did you ever get told that when you were in college?
All the time.
That's crazy. Of course, all of us could do something else. Of course, all of us could. That's crazy.
Well, okay.
It gives us the weakest bargaining position. It tells us that we have to do this and nothing else. So we're all desperate. We all show up here desperate and sort of convinced that this is the only thing we can do. And I came in that mindset. I was like, I will do anything. And so I did. I did a bunch of crazy things. I worked hard jobs for way too little money. I beat myself up all the time to audition for things. I remember early on, I had this girlfriend, and she was like, you should have soap opera headshots. And I never. Yeah, she was like, I see you have a headshot for theater. You've got a headshot for this. You've got a headshot for that. You have like a fun comedy headshot. You've got like a serious drama headshot. But you need something that like someone who like casts a soap opera would be like, oh, I can see this guy as like a dysfunctional boyfriend for someone, or guest, or whatever the roles are in soap operas. And so I believed her, and I did that. I went and got a soap opera headshot because I was just like, I have to, because I can't do anything else. I have to have this headshot because I have to take every opportunity. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And what a waste that was. What a waste of time and energy and my soul and my integrity to even try to be a part of soap operas. It was so dumb. It was a dumb thing I did.
Like, what is a soap opera headshot?
I mean, I don't know. I asked the photographer for one, and the person assured me that what they gave me was a soap opera headshot.
The only thing I can imagine is it's a headshot where it's like soft lighting, kind of like a Barbara Walters interview.
Yeah, it was like that, and I had a fuzzy sweater on.
Oh, of course. I mean, you
Yeah.
can't forget the fuzzy sweater.
And I gave the person almost $1,000 for that, for this thing that would help me. That would help me get something I didn't want. You know, that I
Well, yeah.
never wanted.
Oh God. I mean, I paid like $500 for my headshots. They're great, but like, geez, wow. Um,
It was a waste. A
with,
waste.
with my like background, it was similar to like what they told you, like, but they said if you can't see yourself doing anything different, not if you
Yeah.
can't do anything different.
Yeah. Well, I just think that, like, like the reason I got into theater and performing in high school was because the people I met in the high school program at my high school were just the best people.
Mm-hmm.
Just fantastic, warm, welcoming, supportive people, similar to the people you find in the improv community around UC, right? Everyone's very supportive. Everyone is very open, wants to help each other. So, like, really excellent. But I think even compared to them, the high school students, that man is gone. The high school students at Sanford Calhoun High School in Merrick, I'm going to say this improv community, I'm going to say this, topped you. They just were better people. And it might just be that, when you're in high school, it's easier to be super nice or something. And in both instances, compared to me, the improv community far nicer than me, and the high school community far nicer than me. So please don't take any insult to anyone. But I would say for sure that the high school students. Nope, don't worry about it. You've got a continuous stream for your podcast.
Okay, your audio is. I think.
You can't hear me. Hey, Mark.
I don't hear you at all.
Well, why don't you try leaving and coming back? Did you hear that?
There's a weird growling coming from my phone.
There's a weird growling coming from your phone.
Oh boy. Let me see if I can get to work. Give me a second and I'll be back.
Okay. Yeah, so I would say the high school students at Sanford, Calhoun were just like the nicest people. And then when I got to the city, the people that I encountered involved in the theater industry were just the opposite. Just the opposite. Not nice at all, Cutthroat. Beyond belief, cutthroat for what seemed to be large amounts of money to me as a 22-year-old or 23-year-old, but which now that I've like worked for a couple companies, I know it's not even really that much money, but they're all like eager to push each other around for it. I spent about I'd say about 8, 9, possibly 10 years. Kind of trying to please people like that, trying to audition for people like that, and or ingratiate myself to people like that. And let's see, Mark has texted me trying to fix my connection. My phone overheated. Oh, Mark, his phone overheated. Well, I'm just going to keep recording his podcast for him. And he told me he wanted to do an hour before this started, so I'm going to give him 25 minutes more material. Yeah, so I feel like that's crazy. That's crazy, theater industry. People who run theater programs, stop telling your students that. Stop telling them that, that they have to do this, that they can't do something else. Tell them instead, say something like, don't work for anyone unless they meet your standards of excellence. And, you can be happy doing something else. Anyone can be happy doing something else, so there's no need to convince people that they have to succeed this way. All that does is make it more difficult for the next batch of students, because there's been another group of theater professionals and actors and artists who come to New York, or, I'm sure it's the same way with film, go to LA, and are desperate, just desperate for these jobs that are questionable value. Yes, they pay you money, but are you really engaged in what you wanted to be engaged in a lot of the jobs? I found that when I got hired and paid to do things, almost every time, it was not for something that I thought was worth anyone's time. So if you're going to do something for money that isn't worth your time, you can make a lot more money doing doing something that isn't worth your time in other industries. You might as well do that, because I don't know that there's that big a difference between right. I mean, is there that big a difference between manufacturing stoves and selling insurance on the television by being in a commercial for insurance? I'm not sure. I'm not really sure that there is. And I know that like you get paid a lot of money for that commercial, and it's not that much work, but it is a lot of work to practice, your auditions, and to show up to a bunch of auditions, and to find someone who's going to send you out to these auditions. So that's a ton of work, and it's probably not the reason you got into acting, I would guess. So I would just say to theater schools out there, maybe, cool it with the rhetoric. Cool it with that rhetoric. Let's talk about Shakespeare. That's another thing. What's going on with Shakespeare? Why is there so much Shakespeare? It's too much. It's too much, theater. You gotta stop. You gotta stop. I think he's been the #1 produced playwright every year. I mean, like for maybe like the last 300 years? That's crazy. That is crazy. I like Shakespeare. I must have seen like 20 Midsummer Night's Dreams. That's too many times. That's too many times. I don't need to see another version of it. I really don't. The rest of my life, that play is dead to me. There's no need to do it again. All I'd be seeing is like, maybe like one line I missed in the past, or one scene maybe with a different take on it. But my goodness gracious, we have to find other playwrights if we're going to keep having theater. Which is one of the reasons why I love improv, because, then you have new material. You have new material, and yeah, okay, is it as good as written material? Like really good written material? Probably not. It's not as good as like a Pulitzer Prize winning.
Hey, okay, Terry.
I've been doing a constant stream of consciousness. We talked about I talked some more about why theater students shouldn't be eager to get a job in theater no matter what. I also talked about my dislike of how much Shakespeare is being performed.
Shakespeare, okay.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Well, I can't listen to the whole episode myself.
But you'll have it online. You'll have it. You can go back.
Right. I guess I will find a way to get the video version of it onto downloadable, I guess.
Well, I was just in the middle of explaining why I thought Shakespeare shouldn't be so well produced. Let me just pitch an idea to you.
Okay.
And you tell me whether you think this is a good idea or not. Rather than having new music presented by different recording artists every year, imagine if the music industry just continued to re-record the same compositions by someone who's alive 300 years ago, over and over and over again, and that every year that same person's canon of work would be the #1 recorded material every single year. I really think music wouldn't be nearly as popular as it is today.
I actually fully agree with that, honestly.
Yeah,
I'm not the biggest Shakespeare fan.
He's great. No, he's fantastic.
I mean, he's great, but I feel like he's overrated for what he is.
I don't know if he's overrated. He's overproduced. It's just on. It's endless. It is.
I mean, Midsummer Night's Dream is done like 100 times a year at least.
That's hilarious. I was just complaining about Midsummer Night's Dream when you were off there. I was just complaining about that. Like I've seen.
And the funny thing is, that's my favorite.
Times.
It's got my favorite Shakespearean role in it too.
Which one? Puck? You like Puck?
No, Bottom.
Bottom
is the most fun role in all of Shakespeare.
Yeah, definitely true.
Yeah.
I won't argue with you about that. But man, that's crazy. That is crazy how much they're doing Shakespeare, just constantly. They're just constantly abusing us with this Shakespeare. And I'm not going to argue as to whether or not he's the best writer to have ever lived, the best playwright to have ever lived. He may very well be. But, Mozart may very well be the best composer to have ever lived. But it doesn't
that makes sense.
Just never move on. That you just can't get. It's like an obsession. It's honestly like an obsession. Some of it's obviously the economics that you can produce this plays for free.
I mean, and honestly, that's like one of the things about improv that I love, the fact that whatever it is created is only there for that set amount of time.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I saw an amazing cage match by Apollo. Yeah, it was videotaped, after, like while it was happening, but still like watching it on videotape is not the same thing.
I heard it was fantastic.
It was such a great cage match this week.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
And I was very proud of my friends in Apollo. Like they're a really fun team doing some really cool things.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch Curtis Ray's video of it sometime.
You did a great job videotaping it.
He always
He did
does.
a great job with your show.
Yeah, he's great with that. He's great.
Do you like what do you do with those videotapes that he like records of your show?
Well, last time I don't think he did record. Last time I just asked him to look like he was recording it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was just part of the circus element.
I think Drew might have been recording.
Maybe so. I don't know.
I thought I saw the red light on his screen.
He may very well have been.
Whatever.
But he can do with that whatever he likes. Because I wasn't in the market for another video. I think the one Curtis taped it 2 months ago. It was such a good tape that he created that, and I felt like that was really the best performance of my show that I've done. So I'm happy with that.
Great.
But I love the fact that there is someone there. If I do the show live again, I'll add 2 more people recording. I'll try to
If you need anyone, I will do anything you need.
Oh, great, Mark. Okay, yeah, great. I would love to have you maybe operate a boom or
That'd be so much fun.
bounce light at me or something.
Just with a giant piece of cardboard or whatever.
Yeah.
Or like even like a real professional one, yeah.
Yeah, I just want to like create as much mayhem as possible. So that'd be great.
It'd be really funny if you had like one of those stereotypical Rent headsets like over the ear, and you also had like the microphone that you use on the wall.
That's not a bad idea.
It'd be pretty funny.
If I used a wall mic, a headset, and also had a boom mic over my head, I think that'd be great.
Oh God, I'm really happy I got my computer to work for this. I actually had downloaded a thing for it. So.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I hope my phone's okay. I'm a little concerned about that right now, actually. That's fine.
Oh, I hope I didn't break your phone.
You didn't break it. It just overheated.
Okay. Are you due for an upgrade?
No, I got the phone in November.
Uh-oh. Oh no.
Whatever, it's all cool. I have insurance for a reason. Okay, so let's start about like your early days in UCB.
Okay, my early days at UCB.
Yeah. So like,
great.
What brought you to UCB?
Well, I played basketball with a bunch of guys who were UCBers for a couple years, and so I knew about it. And I think also during like maybe an earlier phase of myself, around maybe a couple years after I bought those dumb headshots for soap operas, someone told me I should go to UCB and take a class, so I did in 2003 for the wrong reasons, for the same reason I got that headshot. Like I did it to like quote unquote network.
Soap operas.
To network was the idea.
Oh, okay.
Like, you got to do this to network. So I was like, oh, yeah, I got to, because I can't do something else. I got to do this. It's my only chance. So I went and did it. But because I was there for the wrong reasons, even though I had a good time, I failed the class. I didn't attend enough of the classes, and Ari had no choice but to fail me. And so that was pointless. But I knew about the theater, right? I knew about it. And I went to go see a show one time. It was just happened to be a bad show. That show didn't take off ever. So I was like,
okay. Was it at 22nd Street or at 26th?
It was at 26th. It was at the most recent Chelsea theater.
Right.
It was a late night show, and they did a scene painting opening, and I didn't understand what that was. And like I was a theater guy, so I wanted them to follow plot. You know what I mean? And they didn't. Right. So I found that frustrating. Yeah, it just wasn't a great show. So I was like, okay, that's what that is. That's, about what I thought it was. That's as good as it gets. Because I had done improv in like high school and college, and like I thought I felt like I had a sense of like how good it could get, right? So then, my wife and we were dating at the time, and maybe around 2006, late 2006, I was like, you know what, honey? These guys I play basketball with, they all really loved this place, UCB. So I should take a class. And she was like, I want to take a class. So we waited. Because her schedule was busy then. So we waited a couple of months. And we ended up taking a Zach Woods 101 in March, which was, man, that was so cool. Because Um, like Zach was so young then. Like I don't know how young he was. He must have been. He couldn't have been older than 22. He must have been 22 or younger.
Right. Yeah.
And like I was, I was like almost. Was I 30? I must have been. Yeah, I was 32. So I was kind of like very suspicious of him. You know, I was like,
Yeah.
what can this guy teach me really? This 22-year-old. And the answer was everything. The answer was he was fantastic, and like he was like so good at teaching people improv, and like not only teaching them but also instilling in them a sense of responsibility for the types of
Okay.
scenes that they were engaged in, and he was just like the best teacher. So that was our 101 experience, and we were, we totally just went down the rabbit hole immediately. We like
Do
bought
you
all the
guys take
books.
classes together the whole way down for like 101 through 401, or?
No, no, it was interesting. Jen and I were on the same path, 101, 201, 301. We took a 202 together with Joe Wenger, and then Jen, like kind of probably because she's a better, more balanced person than me, was like, I'm gonna focus a little bit more on my education. And I was like, this is it. This is all. This is it. Probably. It's probably partially because of what I was told in college. I probably was like, I gotta do this. I have to. I must
This
do
is my
more.
this is my ticket as an actor. Yeah.
I have to. I have. It wasn't even. I didn't. At that point, I wasn't even interested in being an actor. I was just. But there's a part of me that just thinks I have to do this. You know what I mean? That I
Yeah.
must. And that I can't do something else and be happy. So. So I kept doing it. I just kept taking classes. And so we took the first 3, 4 classes that we took together. And then she went on and took some more classes. But I was, like when she was taking 401, I was already taking 501. At the time, Ashes were called
Right.
501s.
Yeah, they didn't
Um,
start getting called Ash till like middle of my first year at UCB, I think.
yeah, like 2009 sometime, I think. 2009,
Yeah,
2010.
2010 is like when they were like,
Yeah,
2010 other things might happen. I'm not sure. Whatever.
yeah. Whatever. Whatever.
It's the past, man.
That's the past. That's the damn past. So that happened, and I have to say, Jen is naturally a better improviser than me. She's a better lister, and
You guys are
she's.
both pretty good improvisers. Like,
Thank you.
really good improvisers.
Thank you. She's better. She's better than I am, without a doubt. I didn't know that when I was taking 101, 201, and 301 with her. I had no idea. I was like, I'm much better than Jen. That's what I thought in my head. I was like, she's too tentative. She waits too long in scenes to make decisions. But actually what she was doing was listening while I was like bulldozing people. You know what I mean? Like,
That's so. It's funny because like in my Delaney class show with her, she made the game happen, and it was really quick when she made the game happen that we were in a scene with.
oh no, she's fast. She's fast. She just, compared to what I was doing in 101, 201,
At
and
that
301,
time, yeah.
compared to the speed I was moving at then, she was slow. Everyone was. I was just
Right.
vomiting out, my
Words.
contributions very quickly.
Yeah.
And I'd say I was probably through the 2 years I was on Robber Baron too, and probably through most of Standard Oil when I was on Standard
Standard
Oil.
Oil was a fun team. I feel like it's talked about enough.
I mean, I don't know how much needs to be talked about, but yeah, it was a fun
No, no,
team.
no, no. Because
There
like
were
I
good
mean,
people on it.
like they were like I mean, it was like it was all like veterans, all cool players. I mean, it was like
Yeah,
part DeCosta, part Robert Barron,
yeah, there was
part some other teams probably. I'm not sure.
a lot of teams that
There was a lot of teams that came into Standard Oil,
sure, yeah.
and I think it was also Sean Distance first team too, right?
Yeah, Sean was on that
Yeah.
team. Don got transferred over from.
Yeah, yeah. And it
Yeah,
was just a really like it was like one of those teams I was always excited to see
yeah.
because in my early days I was a really really big DeCosta fan,
Oh yeah, the
and
Costa was great. Yeah,
yeah, and then
but
like what?
if you saw that team during when it was Standard Oil and I was there that day, then you would have seen me improvising way too fast, pushing my own ideas way too hard.
You were a
Uh,
little fast.
oh yeah, a little. I would say a little. I would say a little. I calmed down for some reason when we became Still Mike. Something clicked, and I was just like, you know what? I should listen more. And things got better for me as an improviser. I
Yeah.
would say. Yeah.
And then you got put on a team that is the reason why I actually like because Anna Rubinova was coaching one of my teams for a while,
Okay.
and she was saying that you used to coach Sandino
Yeah.
like right before you were on the team and stuff like that, and help them like be like the Sandino we know and love.
Well, I'd like to think I helped them do that, but they were like a great team
Yeah.
because of who they were. You know, I did. I don't think I hurt them when I coached them, but then I think probably most people who coached them didn't hurt them. So, you
Oh,
know,
they were a great team. Yeah.
and it was so much fun to coach them because you could give them anything. You could ask them to do anything, any insane thing. And I
Yeah.
did. I would ask them to do the most insane exercises, the most insane shows, and they would always just knock it out of the park. It was so much fun. So much fun
Uh,
to coach them. It was great.
like it's odd. Like I mean, I think that's so cool the fact that you coached them and then you played with them for a year.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah. A
I
great
mean,
year.
that's so cool.
Yeah,
How'd
it
that
was
feel
fun.
for you? Like when like you found you were gonna actually be on San Diego.
Well, it felt weird. I mean, it felt weird for a couple of reasons. One reason was I felt like at the time, like I had been doing Herald Night for 3 years. And of those 3 years, I'd say the first 6, 8 months of Robert Barron was pretty rewarding. But then after that, I'd say probably my teams did not perform um, as elite teams do. You know, there were troubles on those teams. You know, either in execution of the sets or just in like deciding what kind of teams we wanted to be.
Right.
And so like when I got put on Sandino, I was kind of like, I know these guys are great. Now I'm never going to be on a great team because I was on a team and we made it happen. Now I'm just going to be on a great team, which was
Okay.
awesome. It was like very easy and very rewarding. And at that point, since I had decided I was going to listen more anyway, like that was a great team to do that with because everyone was hilarious.
Right.
Uh, so you know, but there was still this, you know, like you kind of like wanted, like if like you're a kid and you're trying to figure out something you don't know how to do, you kind of want to figure it out on your own. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I still want it, and I guess I still probably am hungry for that experience to feel like I'm a part of a team, a part of a Herald team or any team that like you just don't know. Are they going to be good? Are they going to get along? Are they not going to get along? And to figure out a way to make that happen from day one. I would love to have that experience still. Never got to. But then, I mean,
Well,
let's be honest. A lot of people who are on Herald Night never get to have that experience.
exactly. I mean,
Yeah, so like a lot of people never get to be on a great team. So it's so rewarding to get to be put on Sandino and to just
like a
sort
team
of,
that everyone loved. I mean, like
yeah,
you were on the team from like the height to the end, which was still very high.
yeah. It was fun. It was
Yeah.
great. Very
I
rewarding. I
mean,
love that team.
I always like. I mean, I've said a million times on this podcast, like Santino's my favorite Herald team of all time, and like I've
Oh,
not been able to find a team to fill that hole. There's been close calls,
sure.
but like Santino means so much to me. You know,
Yeah.
as a fan that was like growing up as an improviser, watching those Heralds that Santino did
Mm,
week after week, and see like all 10 amazing members do crazy stuff
right.
and so committed.
Well, you know, and like, and what it was really more than anything, I think, was that the people on that team really, like, you knew that they thought you were great. Like, you just
Right.
knew. You know, like you couldn't avoid it. And a lot of that, so much of that came from the people who were on that team. You know, and it's such an interesting thing. It really taught me something about being on a team and being a good teammate. You really can't be a good improv teammate unless you're making the other people around you before the show and after
Yeah.
the show and during the show feel like you think they're great. And I think you have to think that they actually are great in order to make them feel that way.
Right.
And those guys all did that so well. So well.
What was it weird when Nate asked you to join the team? Like, did he email you or call you or just walk up to you
Oh,
or?
yeah, it was super weird. I mean, because, like, you know, it meant he was stepping off of the team.
Right.
And so, like, at the time, I remember thinking that he had just sort of taken over the AD spot and I remember thinking that he should make Sandino, before I was put on the team, I thought he should make Sandino
Weekend team.
a weekend team.
Yeah, no, I remember
really thought that he
this
should.
conversation for like 2 months.
What's
Like,
that?
San Diego was going to become a weekend team.
Yeah, I mean, I thought for sure. I thought for sure he would do that.
And plus
So,
with the mystery shows. Or was that later?
that was later. That was later.
That
Yeah,
was later, yeah.
I was on the team for that. Yeah. But yeah, I thought that for sure he would make the team a weekend team, and so like I felt like kind of like he was hurting himself in a weird way by stepping off of the team. But he had his reasons, and I think that he probably felt strange being the artistic director and also being on Harold Night at the same time.
Yeah.
And I don't want to speak for him on a podcast.
Yeah.
He had great reasons, but it was to be in the position where someone's giving you this thing that they've got that's so valuable.
And he also shared it also on in his episode too about stepping down.
Oh, he talked about it. Okay,
Yeah.
great. So like, yeah, if anyone's interested in listening to this, you should go and listen to that to find out why.
It's a great episode.
Also, there was he was also involved in some kind of insurance fraud. I think he made money off of an insurance company by stepping up for Sandino. So there's that too.
Well,
Yeah, so that was very weird. But then, I did feel like I felt bad leaving my other team. I felt bad leaving Still Mike.
So did Still Mike last much longer after you left, or?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah, because I think they were like
I think that they may have been broken up during the same shakeup that moved me to Sandino, or shortly after I left. I remember that Mike Kane stepped down off of Harold Night, and Don was also on Still Mike with me, so it was.
And moved also to Sandino.
Yeah, moved also to Sandino, so that's 3 people now who are off that team, and Still Mike was a real revolving door.
Yeah.
For a team that started with the name Still, we had a very transient nature.
And I mean, also, your most recent Harold team, Sherlock and Cookies, went through a very, very, very long, complicated phase of many people being on that team.
Yes, they may have. I did not, though. I did not experience that.
Right, you were on it for 6 months or so, right?
Just 3, just 3 months. I was on the team for 3 months.
Baby coming and all that stuff, and
I was so tense. Yeah, that was my second favorite Harold team, though. Sherlock and Cookies.
They were fun, especially when you were on the team. It was a really fun combination of people.
I think I can't imagine them not being a hilarious group. They were just a great group, and I do think though that part of the reason why I enjoyed working with them was because I had been on Sandino and had seen that it's about supporting the people who you're on the team with,
right?
And not trying. I think a lot of times in when I was on Robert Barron and when I was on Standard Oil and when I was on Still Mike, I think to my discredit, I think I often would think things like, how am I gonna make this work? You know what I mean? How am I gonna come into this show and do something to help the show work? When now when I go into shows, I just think. If I'm doing well, if I'm not messing up or something, I think to myself, I'm so lucky to play with these people. I'm just going to try not mess up anyone's brilliance. And when there's time for me to do something to help, push someone else's thing, I'm going to do that. And that works so much better, and it's such a more rewarding place to be. And that's definitely what my attitude was when I was on Sherlock and Cookies. And,
yeah.
So I think for that reason, and then also I think Matt Mayer is just such a supportive teammate. He's fantastic. Beth Appel is on that team. Yeah, he's so good. And then Beth Appel.
He's so unsung, and I hate that. I feel like he's such an unsung hero of most teams.
I don't know where people sing about teammates, but I mean, he is fantastic. And not just as an improviser, but I think more importantly as a teammate. He really cares about what the other people on the team think, and that matters so much. And the same thing's true about Beth Appel. She was for me this huge find. Getting put on that team and finding Beth Appel was just so fantastic.
One of my favorite moves of all time from Sherlock and Cookies was one of her moves. It was were you there for when they were it was all they knew chain gang?
No, I was. It was like
Did
a
you hear about
couple
that
weeks.
show?
I did hear about it. Yeah, it was a couple weeks after I left.
Right, right.
They did this
It was
great.
so funny. Like basically, for those that don't know, all the guys were razzing all the girls on
Mhm.
a chain gang and like saying kind of sexist stuff. And like just telling them work harder. And then like you find like it was the end of the third beats. And they were actually it was a pretty on fire Harold too to begin with. And then like they're like, why don't you do something? Do something, ladies. And then like Beth Appel does very, very realistic death talk.
What's death talk?
Oh, like when deaf people try to talk.
Oh, deaf talk, deaf talk.
That's what I
I
was
didn't
like.
know that was the move. Okay. Yeah, she's great. She's
Yeah,
fantastic. But then again, I like her. I like her improv a lot. I like watching her do improv. I like doing improv with her. But with her also, it was really just like who she was off stage. That was such. It was is the number one thing that I think about, like with her and with Matt and with Corey and with David Siegel and with Cassie
Lauren
was on that
Adams,
team. Lauren Colin Adams. Now who am I forgetting? Also, there was
like
James
go on to like
McCarthy for a
the
while.
page and find out like that page,
I don't know.
like
I don't know.
like the wiki page for it.
I probably can't remember everyone who was on that team, but I know that I enjoyed. I enjoyed. I can't
Was it
remember.
Cassie on the team at that point?
I said Kasia. She was on, and
Oh, okay.
let's see. I remember Megan Nuringer was our coach, and she was great. And we had. I can't remember who else. Well, whoever they were
Don't worry, I'm
fantastic.
working. I'm working. I'm gonna find it. So
I don't
I'm
want to
gonna
know.
find it.
I don't want to know who I'm forgetting. I don't want
Well,
to know.
what about the fans? What about the people watching us? Well, listening to us in the
I
future
don't
or
want them to
whatever,
know
however
either.
they want to watch.
Okay, all right.
Huh?
Let's find. Let's find out. Let's find out who it was. Let's see.
We have a lot of people watching us, anyways. Just out of curiosity.
No, not many people are watching this right now. Someone is sticking through it, but people will watch.
Probably my
Hopefully,
dad.
it's probably your dad. Do you think so?
My dad is a big fan. Can you figure out who it is, or
No, I can't figure out who's watching.
it's fine? I'm almost there. Where we need to be. So Mike. No, not too far. Where is it? When did this team start?
Sherlock and
Like,
Cookies started in maybe October 2012.
right.
Here it is. Here I've got the lineup here. Oh no, I don't, because we had a
Okay. Okay. Okay.
darn Google.
I gotta find the lineup that you were in.
You what?
Oscar.
Oh, Oscar. Oh my God, Oscar. Yeah, his last day.
The other really awesome, crazy person on that team.
Yeah, Oscar. My God,
Well, we solved that mystery.
we solved it.
Um.
Yeah.
So I want let's talk about e-improv a little bit because I am so amazed by this small little empire you're making.
Well, I don't think it's an empire, but it is fun. It is a lot of
Well, I mean,
fun.
it's an alternative theater space.
It's true. That's true. And it has no capacity to exhaust itself. So like that's like something that I think is really cool about improv. That like I can set up a night of performances and have a team go at 8, another team go at 8:30, and a third team go at 9. The first team that's going at 8 could go for 5 hours, and it would have no effect on the next two teams.
Really, I didn't know that.
Yeah, because they're
Has
each
that
gonna.
happened before?
Yes, there's a group. Well, it happens all the time that someone goes over by like 5-10 minutes.
Okay.
That happens all the time, right? Just like it does at an improv theater, which is normally like this huge stressor, right?
Right. For the poor
Um,
house manager and all that stuff.
right. But for this, it doesn't matter. For this, it just doesn't matter.
It's just like different rooms. Is that what it is?
Just different hangouts, just different Google Hangouts that are occurring simultaneously or perhaps accidentally consecutively. Like I've been thinking that I can start booking. It's not at the point yet, but I could, if it gets popular enough, I could start booking two teams at exactly the same time. That would have no effect. And you could just
Cool.
come on and watch both teams, or whichever team you want to watch. And it's cool too that like you can watch a show at like 10:30 at night and then go back and watch a show that happened at 7. Like, that's cool.
Yeah.
But the whole way I think about it is changing. Like I at first I was like, I'm gonna, try to simulate an improv experience and take the videos down as soon as the show's over. But I've realized that just doesn't jive with the YouTube world.
Right.
That I'm kind of cutting the legs out from underneath this thing, because you need volume in order to get people's attention. So I'm going to start leaving the videos up, and Nate Bennett is helping me put together a YouTube channel. That's fun.
Oh, cool. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, it'll help. It'll help get people's attention. And
Yeah.
I mean, like I love like the people out there too. Like there's so many great improvisers.
Well, I mean, you've also had like people from across like the nation, across the world, even. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, I find that
yeah.
really cool.
Me too. Me too. And like I like sometimes like you find a group and like they exist in like this little pocket in their state or in their city, and they're doing something kind of like just like with evolution, if like you find animals on an island, they're different than what you normally expect, right?
Right.
Similar things like that. Like you'll find like a small group, and they're doing something that's like not wrong, but really different, really different than what. I'll give you one example that I think is fantastic. There's a group in Kansas City, and they have been doing this thing called Improv House Party. So I sent them all the information. I sent them the improv information, and I sent them like what I think they should do, which is just like how I figured out you could use Google Hangouts, right? Instead of doing what we normally do, which is just a regular Google Hangout, we've got like maybe 4 to 6 improvisers, and like a lot of times you tell a story up top, or you just use a suggestion to create scenes, and then you either do like movie scene edits to move from scene to scene, where sometimes like the camera pans away, and we find ourselves looking at a couple on a park bench near a river.
Right.
And you're in a new scene. Or sometimes like people will just like use the intention of their voice, the intensity, or like the details in their initiation to indicate that they're in a new scene, right? These guys totally different. Totally different. What they do is they all get into the same house, and they are each at their own computer in different areas of this house, and they start to improvise over their computers, primarily generating source material. Like they'll do their monologue opening from these different computers. And then when they think they've got things that they want to play, they leave their computers and they go to another computer playing area that's kind of like a stage, but it's like more like a studio for TV.
Okay.
In its layout, not in its actual materials, because it's a house, it's someone's living room. But the way they've laid it out, like they've got lights on both sides of the playing area, these powerful lights pointed down, and they've got like a drape in the back, and it's a smaller area. It's not like, how like when you watch like, even when you watch like someone great at it, like Curtis's videos of improv sets, it's a little frustrating because the space is so large. You kind of miss some of the intimacy. But they've got a very intimate space. So that's not the case for them. And then they play out the scenes in this other space. So like there's different playing areas when they do it, and it's kind of like this weird thing that they made up, and I love it. I just love that. So like that's great. But then also you find people who are not in that pocket, who are sort of like keyed into the same community that we all are at UCB, kind of unexpectedly. Like I'll give you an example. I contacted the artistic director of a place in Portland called the Curious Comedy Theater. Stacy, I've known her for years because of my job with Torco, and I told her I was doing this and would some people like to do it, and she was like, yeah, we would like to do it. I'm out of town. Email Garrett Palm, and he will set you up. And of course, Garrett is like a New York City improviser who I guess is living in Portland right now, and who I've known for years. And like that whole community feels like the set they did felt so it felt just like I was watching a show at UCB, and like a great show too. I felt like I was watching a weekend team at UCB. I really, really, really liked their set. It was great, really great. So you find both, and like it's cool, it's exciting. And the Japanese guys are going to do a set in all Japanese soon, so I'm excited about that.
People from like DCM last year, or different Japanese people?
I don't know. I know one guy, David Heston, who I didn't know. He was at UCB for a while, and then moved to Japan for a job, and I guess saw that I was doing this, and reached out to let me know that he was interested in it, and he's just been fantastic. He's just been generating interest in Japan on e-mprov, and so I don't think he was there last year, but maybe some of the people he's contacting were. I don't know.
Okay, cool.
But I mean, I think I can't. I'll be so excited when a team of people start a show and just start speaking Japanese and never stop speaking Japanese. That will be fantastic. I won't know what they're saying, but I'll click.
Well, you're just gonna be like, "What's happening?"
Yeah. But I mean, like, who cares, right? Like, that's how they are when they look at my videos. So,
yeah.
Why should it only be in English?
Of course.
Can't think of a reason. Yeah.
I know we gotta get ready to wrap up, anyways, but I want to ask because I mean, you have one of the cooler jobs at UCB also.
Oh, yeah.
The Torco manager, right? That's the official title, or?
I'm the sales manager.
Huh?
I'm the sales manager. Yeah.
But I mean, that's really cool that you book the shows for people to spread the love of improv.
It is cool. It's a cool position.
You meet a lot of interesting people with that, I'm sure.
Yeah, and the team right now is really fantastic. We've had a couple iterations of what the team is, and the team has always been strong and fun. But I think right now we've got a really
the actual touring team, or the sales team.
The sales team, of course.
Yeah.
The sales team is fantastic.
So is there an iteration only of? Yeah.
I never know who's actually touring. I just don't know. I have no idea. I'm not involved in that. I
know a good friend of the show and previous guest of the show, Rob Spencer, is one of your people.
Yeah. Rob's doing great work for us right now.
And Alan's still with you guys, right?
Alan Starzinski still doing damage on the telephone.
Is he doing damage on the phone, really?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think so. He's getting sales and hurting people's feelings at the same time. Oh, yeah.
Cool. Yeah. No, I love that guy. It's so funny. I'll never forget. He's the person from San Diego I see the most. And he's like, Mark, I'm going to do your podcast, but I got to wait till everyone does it, too. I'm like, really?
Really? He wants to be the last one to do it?
Yeah.
He's funny. He's a funny fella.
He's one of my favorite comedians out there. I think he's a good, solid, crazy good man.
What a great improviser. Just a fantastic improviser. Yeah. Great guy. Okay.
Yeah. So, okay, let's get ready to wrap up. Wait, actually, I want to talk about Mr. Improv.
Okay.
How did you get the idea for this?
Well, so when I had things occur to me as being stupid. Things occur to me as being stupid all the time. And when something occurs to me as being a really stupid thing, I often think to myself, I'd like to do a show about it. But when I was on Harold Night, I never did. So I rarely did. I had ideas about shows. I had a lot of ideas about shows. But when I had to drop off Harold Night because I was tense, honestly, I was tense about money. I couldn't afford to pay the monthly fee to pay for a coach on Harold Night anymore because Jen was pregnant. And
right.
Oddly, also because I worked for UCB, so those two things together, created a situation where I really couldn't afford to pay to be on Harold Night anymore. And this huge hole, that had been really covered by Harold Night, which is such a wonderful audience and just a great opportunity to perform, reappeared in my life, and I was just like, I must perform. So when crazy ideas occurred to me after that, I just executed them. So that's where the short forms came from.
Only form, stuff like that.
Yeah, short forms only art form, the one-man crazy show that you saw.
Yeah.
The Joel Osteen jokes and the singing gags and the Rupert Sackling Wadget fish debacle.
Oh, God, that's so funny.
All those things that just occurred to me. Which I think, I don't know. Is that how every comedy show happens, right? People, I guess that's how it always happens, right? Except I feel like other ones are more planned. When I get an idea for something, I'm just like, yeah, that sounds good. And then I immediately post something on Facebook about it, and I begin building some kind of mythos surrounding it. So I'd never have a writer's meeting where I'm like, this is what it will be, and here's how it will work. I just sort of am like, this sounds good to me. I'm going to do it right now, and then we'll see what it becomes.
I do the same thing, honestly.
Yeah. I saw the Miss Universe, I guess. Like Jen flipped
Okay.
on the Miss Universe competition, or the Miss. It wasn't Miss America. It was like world competitors. It was weirder than Miss
Okay.
America, and it was the
Miss
question.
Galaxy.
Miss Galaxy, maybe, yeah. So there was the
Yeah.
question segment, and this announcer looks at me right through my television, microphone up to her mouth, and she says, "This year, we're going into the question phase of this competition. All right." And this is when this started. This was the first moment I saw this competition. So we're down to the wire. Now, in previous years, we had a larger amount of time on television. This year, we only have the hour. So we're moving directly into the questions. In past years, competitors would have some time to collect themselves before answering these questions. But now, they'll move directly to the questions. We will ask them the questions directly, and they will answer right now. And so the camera spans over, and there's these, I think, 5 women, all in like evening wear, and some guy in a tux with a microphone also. And then 4 of the strangest people, just the flat out strangest people at this judges table, like seem to be aggressively strange in their dress and in their manner, are sitting behind that table. And I'll never forget this. So they're like, these questions will be about, I think they were like, I just said I'll never forget it, but I can't really remember. They were like, these questions will be about economics or something like that.
Okay.
We're going to ask you questions about economics because, as we all know, jobs are important. You know, we don't have enough jobs. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so the first person looks at one of the competitors and says, so-and-so, what if the internet stopped working? How would that affect business? And the woman said something along the lines of, well, I think it would affect business positively because then we wouldn't be so detached from everyone, which is what the internet does, and our families would be closer. Made no sense, but everyone was like, yes, 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 right? And like they had like 3 or 4 more like questions like that. So like I was like, I want to do that. I want to get some kind of comedy show together where there are people who are asked questions like that, only about improv. Like just insane. Like I wanted to ask them questions like, what if you found out Carmelo Anthony was hoping that the Knicks would lose during games, but he never changed. He never changed how he was playing. He would play as aggressively as he would if
Well,
he.
yeah, it's like basically if he was still a Denver Nugget.
What's that?
Like basically if he was still like a Denver Nugget player.
No, not that at all. Just that he's a Knick, but he's hoping.
That
For
they
some
lose.
reason for some reason he's spiritually hoping, he's praying to his God that the Knicks lose. For some reason. How would that affect things? Like I just wanted to ask professors questions like that. Just stupid questions. Like things like I have a bunch of them written down someplace. Like things like what would you do if someone accidentally shot someone and then killed them but it was an accident and then it happened again and then again and then again. And like I would just, no matter what they said, even if they were like, we would bar them from using guns again, somehow they get their hands on a gun accidentally and kill someone else. What would you do that? We'd just keep asking that question over and over and over again. And I thought it would be funny to do it and to maybe flip it, because like it's always women right here in beauty competitions. It's rarely men. So I thought it'd be fun to put men as the objects of like our evaluation and have women ask the questions.
Right.
But I think kind of what happened was, as I was doing that and laying out the groundwork for the mythos, right, like which was the applications and the website and all of those things, I slowly started realizing that I didn't like live events anymore, that I preferred doing things online. And so I just ended it. I just ended it at the show you saw. I announced that the competition will never be completed.
Which was really sad. I saw Martin Ryder's soul cry a little bit.
Oh.
He enjoyed getting beaten by you with that scepter.
What's that?
He enjoyed getting beaten with you by that scepter by you.
Yeah, I know. He liked that. I know. And I would love to work more with Martin with my scepter, and I would have loved to have done the. I think the coffee idea was such a good idea. I was going to do a wet work shirt competition where we poured coffee on their heads and like, then evaluated their bodies. No, it'd be cold coffee. I don't
Okay.
want to burn people, but like I just thought that would be a fun variation on the.
It's like everyone's like, guys, stay away from Terry. He's actually crazy.
I mean, maybe people think that. I don't know.
All right. So getting ready to wrap up, I always like to ask, like, what's about Terry Withers people might not know that would be cool for people to know about?
That would be cool for people to know about.
Like, people would be interested to know about.
Um, well, I think about Dungeons and Dragons a lot. That's something.
I have to learn about it.
You have
I have to
to.
learn about it.
You don't have to.
I'm not joking about that either.
You can put that burden down. It's okay if you never learn.
About Dungeons and Dragons.
Well, I'm never going to play again, but I think about it all the time. I'm constantly thinking about it. And in particular, I think about Dungeons and Dragons miniatures, which is a simpler way to play Dungeons and Dragons. I'm constantly thinking about it. Maybe in my retirement.
We should have an e-improv thing where you just teach me Dungeons and Dragons another night, just because I need to know about like Dungeons and Dragons.
Mark, I don't have the time, but yeah, I know that Brennan will teach you because I know
Brennan? Okay, I'll ask him.
Brennan is an ambassador of D&D. I just like I haven't played Dungeons and Dragons since I was in high school.
Okay.
I made a mistake. I should have not gone to school for theater, and I should have just gone to school for business.
Gone to school for Dungeons and Dragons.
And immediately, throughout college, I should have been writing emails to the company that produces Dungeons and Dragons, being like, "I'm a big fan. Can you hire me? Could I intern?" Because like all I want to do is think about like little elves and little dwarves and little dragons fighting each other. That's all really I want to do.
Okay.
So that's something people. Cause I keep that hidden, and I often. Like if a scene, like sometimes you have to, when you're coaching, you have to like show people what it's like when something unusual happens. If something unusual hasn't happened, so a lot of times I'm like, okay, let's do the scene again and talk about how your mother's dead, but this time midway through, include something about how you have a collection of Dungeons and Dragons miniatures. And like often that'll be the thing I ask people to do.
Oh God, I love it.
Yeah.
Okay. So what are you looking forward to coming up that does not involve you, like a movie, a book, a play, or whatever?
What's what now?
What are you looking forward to that does not involve you? It's a plug for something else.
Well, Jen and I are thinking that tomorrow we may hire a sitter and go see Captain America.
I really want to see that movie.
I really want to see it too, but it's going to cost like $140 for us to go, so I'm not sure whether we should or not.
Because the sitter?
Yeah, the sitter would be $80, and the movie would be $20, and I guess I figure if we're going to...
Gotta get snacks.
Yeah, we might as well spend another $20 on snacks if we're going to spend, right, $100 on the sitter and the movie. We might as well have some.
Okay.
But then the popcorn doesn't seem expensive anymore, right? It's like, yeah, sure, another $20. Why not?
Might as well, right?
Yeah. I'll pay $20 to use the bathroom at that point.
All right. And what about plugs for you, like Twitter, Tumblr, shows, etc.?
No, I would just say, like I hope people. I would like to see e-mprov grow, and I hope mostly because I'd like, the whole idea behind the e-mprov was that I would be able to do improv shows from my home, so I wasn't having time to do them anymore. So I'd like people to. I'd like people to get involved in improv, mostly so that when I do improv shows, people will watch. And a great way to do that is to come and perform yourself. I would love to do a set with you sometime, honestly. Yeah, that is an open invitation to everybody in the improv community. Anyone who wants to do a show ever at any point. The great thing about this.
Go to your cat while you're saying that.
Yeah, I feel like what improv is it's the Triple Crown, except there's absolutely no limit to space. So unlike the Triple Crown, where like it'll get clogged up with people having weekly shows, this never will. You can have a daily show, and it doesn't matter. You can have an
hourly show.
Yeah, you can have a show every hour. I'll do it. I'll embed your video, and I will. We've got it. We've got Ben Hodge in Pennsylvania who's doing a great job promoting each show and tweeting about it and Facebooking about it. We'll do that for you. And
great,
and we'll connect you with other people who are improvising around the world, and hopefully we can all like see each other's sets and have like a great audience whenever we want to do a set of comedy. Yeah, I like that idea. Cool. Yeah, all right, my plugs quickly. At MarkLevy85 is at Twitter. If you want to email the show, htmpod@gmail.com.
As of right now, no show plugs. I just finished my indie cage match at 8 o'clock today. We didn't win, but we had fun, so I thank everyone that came out. We had a great set. Flint's such a great team. I mean, like you know the whole team, anyways, probably. If
Yeah.
not the whole team, most of them. I mean, you know Sam Horowitz. Well, I know that.
Yeah, sounds great.
Yeah, man, like it's just an amazing team. I love everyone on that team so much. And yeah, book us for shows. Book Big Red Doors. Book Chronic Fatigue. Uh, Pure Fucking Energy. Vince and myself doing Crazy 2 Prov.
Are you telling me right now to book you?
You or the listeners.
The listeners should. Yeah. Okay, listeners do it.
Yeah. All right, Terry, this has been really awesome. I'm really happy to have my improv cherry popped. And
I was happy to pop your cherry.
yeah, and I thank you very much for finally doing the podcast, and we got it all together.
Thank you so much for having me on.
All right, and I'll see you guys next time I hit the mark. Bye.
Bye, Mark.